Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to the channel. We are once again in the film room, kind of to expand on what we talked about last week with Xavier Worthy, and we are just specifically looking at Worthy in this video. And this week, last week, kind of jumped into a little bit of film from the Jaguars preseason game. The NFL took a lot longer getting the film up on NFL Plus this week. It was like a couple of days. I think it was like Sunday night or Monday morning when I noticed that the film was up from the Jaguars game. I was pretty surprised. But this Lions game that we're looking into from last Saturday, of course, tonight is the third and final preseason game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we'll see how much play time that we see from any of the starters. But they got quite a bit of time in this game, and you kind of look at the landscape of the league, and there wasn't a ton of starters out there. I don't think Jared Goff played a single snap in this game for the Lions. But we're just going to jump straight into the film, and you can kind of see some of the plays that we're going to be looking at as Xavier Worthy got some, really good playing time in the first couple of drives of this game. They ended up getting an extra drive because of the fumble on the kickoff as well, which led to, again, more time for Worthy to kind of showcase his abilities. And so we're going to take it straight from the jump, from the first big play of the game from Xavier Worthy. And right here, Worthy coming in motion. So jumping into this first play for the Lions, a little bit confusing just for the simple fact that I kind of know what they're doing here. It looks like kind of a cover 2 man essentially, but just the coverage absolutely broken down right here. As quickly you got man coverage on Worthy here, man coverage here, man coverage here, really just across the board. But then you got both safeties kind of moving back in, what would be your traditional cover 2 man. But the way, just like we talked about last week, the way that nobody really respected Worthy, and might have been some confusion here, because I don't understand why this safety right here doesn't just shadow Worthy essentially. Kind of protecting the middle of the field, I guess, here, as he kind of just sits down right here and kind of watches what's going on. And this safety, I think, is directly watching kind of what's going on right there. But nobody really does too much to really negate Worthy here, because he just kind of gets wide open. I mean, absolutely blows past the corner, which even at the line of scrimmage, the corner kind of looked a little bit confused. I feel like he got kind of a bad step on this, like right there. Which, now I will say, this right here was a false start. This is a pretty obvious false start. I forgot that, and that might have caused the confusion, honestly, because I feel like the next angle is going to give you kind of a better view of it. But Worthy never really sets here. And I think he even maybe confuses the D tackle right there. Just kind of get some quick movement from the D tackle and kind of messes him up. If you look right there, I'll show him one more time before we kind of move on this play. Let's see. Right there. Quick little jump. Worthy kind of jumps as well, and the corner immediately points it out, saying, hey, he's off. But easily just gets to a wide open space into the field. I mean, there's just nobody out here that's going to be able to get to Worthy. You got one safety right there that's kind of, essentially maybe they're running a cover 1. Was the other safety's kind of taking the, lower part of the field, I guess, right there. Makes more sense than what the, secondary is actually doing on this play. But Patrick Mahomes sees it, exploits it, first down, big gainer, onto the Lions side of the field, big time play. This view is going to show you this false start right here. That's, pretty obvious. I felt like, I'm kind of shocked. It doesn't look like this guy not paying attention. This guy, though, looks like he's got eyes right on it. Probably should have been a flag thrown there. But nonetheless, it's preseason. Get those kind of worked out, because I'm sure that the Chiefs have looked at that on film, and talked to Worthy about it. And, it's just those jitters, you got a rookie at the end of the day. Like, you're going to have those jitters coming in, but a great play. I mean, if that false start isn't there and, say that was called, obviously we wouldn't have seen what developed on the play. But, a regular season game, to be able to exploit something like that. But it just goes back to, like, the Jags film last week where I pointed out, and the, short/reel, whatever you want to call it, that I posted yesterday that just kind of showed the Jags defense, where you had the Chiefs starting off on their own 40-yard line. You had one safety all the way on the Jaguars' 35-yard line, and nobody was really even going deep. There was no Chiefs receiver past the 50-yard line, but you had one safety, and I think that was just to protect against the speed of Worthy. Obviously, that 40 time has the entire league on notice, especially with what this offense did with Tyreek Hill when Hill was in Kansas City, and kind of looking to, get that back and get the guy again, like I talked about last week in last Thursday's film review of the first drive from the offense, of you have to have that guy that's going to stretch the field. And if you're going to take full advantage of Mahomes' abilities, and I think these last few years have really taught Mahomes the art of the check down, because Patrick Mahomes wants to make a big play every single play. I don't think there's one play that Mahomes doesn't go out there and think he's going to throw a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown. That's great, and it was fun. 2018, the 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, but you're not going to get that every single year. So if the Chiefs can kind of lull some teams to sleep off of the last 2 years that they've had, maybe there's a chance that you get some big explosive plays there. Or, some teams that don't really respect Worthy to that level just because he is a rookie. So I think there's a chance to exploit some defenses possibly, and we'll see towards the end of the season and middle of the season once more, is shown from film, and, we'll see what they do with the playbook, because obviously, we've talked about it. Plenty of people in the media have talked about it. Does the regular season even matter? The Chiefs, it seems like they had this vanilla playbook all year last year. Then all of a sudden in the playoffs, they're just a totally different team last year. So we get into the next play, and this is kind of the play that kind of changes that right there. Because now what looks like kind of a cover 2 right here, like Tampa 2 look from the Detroit Lions, where you have both your safeties deep here. You got one guy in the middle right there, and then everybody else kind of protecting underneath here. What Worthy does on this play is he clears everything out. Worthy is just going to go straight up the field. That's going to leave J. Watt right here with really nobody around him. Now you got one guy right there, but Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to dial that up almost every single time with that much space right there. And J. Watt does a good job of kind of coming back to the ball as well, which I think all of the Chiefs receivers, for the most part, I mean, that's like one of the biggest part of Travis Kelce's game, and why the Mahomes-Kelce connection has been so prevalent for as long as it has, and I think built almost more longevity out of Kelce's game, is the ability to kind of come back and find the soft spots in the zone. I'm sure I said that 100 times last year through these film reviews on the podcast, like, just finding those soft spots in the zones right here like they did. But, I mean, you got pretty much 3 guys now dedicated to Xavier Worthy up the field. 1, 2, 3. There's one Chief right there. Meanwhile, you've got 2 guys that are kind of left alone in the middle of the field and, pretty deep down the field. And this is exactly what you want to see. J. Watt makes the catch. First down and a little bit more. Now you're in the red zone. Great play right there. And just shows, again, they didn't respect Worthy on that first play that made the big play. And then right here, all the safeties kind of bail out to make sure that Xavier Worthy isn't going to be able to make another big play. And, I mean, if you can get that to happen throughout the season, I mean, the Chiefs will game plan for that. They're going to wait for those moments where you're not going to respect the speed, the downfield speed of Xavier Worthy, and then all of a sudden you got 2 safeties and a DB running miles down the field with Xavier Worthy. Now you've got two or three guys wide open underneath, and I mean, it's going to be perfect once Hollywood Brown gets back in the mix, and we'll see where that happens. They're kind of hopefully the first quarter of the season we see him back within the first 4 games or so, but nonetheless, we'll see. And if a Rashee Rice suspension comes into play at any time, which I know everyone on the internet and in the media seems like there's no way that Rashee Rice is going to play the whole season. All of those reports I think have been funny, and no real, I don't know, no credible accounts I'll say really have said that I've seen. There's been speculation obviously, but there's been some of those uncredible accounts, like on Twitter, the the ML Footballs of the world, that have come out and said Rashee Rice will not be suspended this year. I mean, where are you getting that from? Because again, I think that I've talked about this for 3 weeks now, since that tweet kind of came out, and since that got the ball rolling on everybody kind of talking about it. And of course, it's rigged for the Chiefs. But you go back 2 years ago where Willie Gay got suspended right in the middle of the season, toughest stretch. Nick Bolton was out. I digress. We could still see Rashee Rice get suspended at some point in the season. Anyways, let's get back on topic here. Let's go to the next play. There's something else I was going to get at on that play there. Right here, just a quick little end around they get to Worthy. And again, do a great job. Just get the ball in the hands of your playmakers is what the Chiefs did best at the end of the year. Now, Worthy does fumble the ball right here. He gets it back, but I think this is a good teaching moment in the middle of the preseason. This isn't in the middle of a game. This isn't week 1. This is week 2 of the preseason. This is the time to make your rookie mistakes like that. He jumps right back on top of the ball, so there's good awareness is what I'll say. That play is not as much of a negative to me. 1, because it's the preseason, obviously, but 2, just to show how frantic Worthy is the moment, and the moment he loses the ball, and the focus to get that ball back. Because right here he loses the ball, and I mean immediately you see him staring right at the ball, knows exactly what he needs to do. Nobody else is around him, which, I mean, you're not going to get that lucky every time. Ask McCole Hardman. But Worthy is able to make the play and continue to keep possession for the Chiefs. Now, these next 2 right here is just kind of pointing out the fact that I think Mahomes has a lot of confidence in Xavier Worthy. And the fact that you're one-on-one right here at the top of the screen, this is Worthy one-on-one, man-to-man coverage, and he's just running a go. Simple go route right there. And Patrick Mahomes is going to launch the ball to him. Incompletion, and on this play, I mean, he leads them quite a bit. And I don't know if Worthy's kind of slowing up right here. I'm going to let the play run from the top one more time. But again, it just shows the confidence that Mahomes has in throwing to Worthy. Do you think he's throwing that ball to MVS? You think he's throwing that ball to Sky Moore? We literally saw a play from last week from that first drive when Hollywood Brown went down where Sky Moore really had an angle and almost got really wide open in Jacksonville, and Mahomes took him straight out of the play. I mean, he didn't even look that way hardly. Absolutely moved to his right, took Sky Moore out of the play. This is huge, I think. The fact that Mahomes is targeting Worthy, he's looking for him, and as soon as he sees Worthy in one-on-one coverage, he's gonna fire it. And right here, same thing. One-on-one coverage, back of the end zone. Get a couple of completions, but just the fact that Mahomes is looking his way, targeting Worthy, the confidence there to be able to throw to Worthy in these situations, I think is huge. Because I don't think Mahomes has that same confidence in many other receivers here. And I think that will just add to the comfortability that Mahomes will have in his receiving core that he just didn't trust his receiving core last year. Or the year before that, I don't think too much. But especially last year, once you lost Juju Smith-Schuster and Rashee Rice had his problems dropping the ball. I think he dropped one in this game as well. He dropped one in Jacksonville, which I think is something to kind of pay attention to. Rashee Rice is still dropping the ball, which is, It is what it is. And I mean, he had a very good run there at the end of the season, but these are things that need to be tightened up. And Rashee Rice going into his second year, I think that's got to tighten up at some point. And I don't think Mahomes has lost any confidence throwing to Rashee Rice, but again, just more comfortability in his receiving core. This one here is now from the third drive, I want to say. Mahomes out of the game. Carson Wentz here. You're going to get Xavier Worthy in a motion. He comes back around the other side in orbit. Just quick screen, and Sky Moore not able to secure a block, and Worthy's ends up getting tackled either for right at the line or see where exactly the line of scrimmage was. You're about on the 31-yard line, so about no gain, maybe a loss of a yard right here. Comes around. Sky Moore just not able, needs to get a little bit further up because this play has potential. I mean, you get that block, and if this block is made right here, I mean, I think Worthy kind of, obviously you got one guy right here. If Worthy's able to kind of get in between right there and Sky Moore's able to kind of make that block, she's got one man to beat. I don't think that's too far-fetched to think Xavier Worthy could score on a play that Sky Moore block is made. Maybe a gain of like 1 or 2 right there. So nothing doing really on this play. But again, it just shows, I think, even the coaching staff and their comfortability with letting Worthy go out and make plays. And I think in the preseason they wanted to establish this. And I feel like they kind of showed that in this game. They want to establish Worthy as being a credible target, I think, within, themselves, essentially. Not really, I don't think they're necessarily trying to make everybody scared of Xavier Worthy, but build him into, and we'll see how quickly he really gets involved in the offense, right? Rashee Rice had a touchdown in the opening game of the year last year. So we'll see how much Xavier Worthy is really asked to do early on. And this is the big touchdown play. Worthy just gets wide open. I think there's a rub in here. Maybe he just beats him. So we got Worthy in the slot over here. And let me double check this again. See who exactly is. It's a guy on the top that's going to take him. And again, he kind of just breaks him down without really even trying, I don't think. Because again, which way is he going to go? Kind of moves, and he gets that inside leverage. And exactly what he needed. I mean, look at the separation already. I mean, that is premium separation right there in the NFL. At this level, you don't see that a ton. This play works out exactly how it's supposed to. And it looks like the lines are just going straight man right here. The Worthy's just able to beat his man. And I think at this point right here, I think he's still worried about that outside threat, kind of going to the corner of the end zone over there where he just ends up running a crossing route. And the Chiefs love their crossing routes. Little stutter right there. Absolutely got the separation he needed and kind of just destroyed his man on that play. Just the quick little stutter right there. That's all Worthy needed to then hit that top speed, go over the top, Carson Wentz wide open. I mean, that's the easiest throw of the day, I think, that anyone made. Easy money. If the Chiefs can do this in the regular season, this might be, once again, one of the scariest offenses in this league. I do wholeheartedly believe that there is the potential there. I'm not sold that that's exactly what it's going to be. The fumble may have you a little bit worried. That obviously needs to tighten up. I think the Rashee Rice drops, that needs to tighten up as well. But again, preseason week 2. I think Xavier Worthy has shown us a lot already in these first 2 games, and just trying to get him, to the point to be ready and just the adjustment. The adjustment, looking at that first play and then looking at the play where he clears out for Justin Watson, which is exactly what happened against the Jaguars in the Hollywood Brown reception, that Xavier Worthy just clears the defense out. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Xavier Worthy and how you think this Chiefs offense is going to be in 2024. Are they going to be explosive once again, kind of revert back to like the end of the 2010s when Mahomes first came on? Tyreek Hill was at his height in Kansas City and really kind of honing his craft to become one of the best receivers in the league. Will we see that again? Is Xavier Worthy what the Chiefs needed to finally be able to stretch that defense? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 300. We got, a week, I think, or 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks from real NFL games. We got 2 weeks. I think we're sitting at like 248, so about 50 more subs. Smash that subscribe button. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video and watched until the end, and hit that bell to stay notified whenever a video comes out, because I'm going to be having plenty of film reviews, podcast on Mondays. Until next time, go Chiefs.